There's a lie that's been dressed up in religion and sold to millions, that to follow Christ means to reject wealth, that somehow poverty is piety, that being broke is a sign of being blessed. But let's be honest, this thinking doesn't hold up. It's not just flawed, it's dangerous, because it teaches people to accept lack as destiny, to confuse mediocrity with humility, and to believe that success is something to apologize for. And I refuse to accept that. You see, wealth is not the enemy, greed is. Possession is not the problem, idolatry is. The issue is not money, it's what money reveals. It's who you become when you get it, or more dangerously, who you pretend to be when you don't have it. The narrative that wealth and faith are mutually exclusive is built on fear, on misinterpretation, on a theology that's been weaponized to keep people small. But purpose was never supposed to be small. Let me tell you what I've learned. Poverty does not glorify God. It limits your ability to serve Him. It restricts options. It reduces reach. It keeps you in survival mode when you were created to build, to influence, to dominate. In the best, most righteous sense of that word. You were made to solve problems, to shape environments, to fund visions. And you can't do that while pretending you're noble because you've accepted struggle as a lifestyle. We need to change the conversation. Stop acting like making money is shameful. It's not. What's shameful is misusing it. What's shameful is worshiping it. But let's not confuse misuse with the tool itself. A scalpel in the wrong hands is a weapon. But in the hands of a surgeon, it saves lives. Wealth is no different. In the hands of purpose. Driven people, it builds schools. It restores families. It launches ideas. It changes the trajectory of generations. The world doesn't need more broke believers. It needs bold believers who understand that influence comes with stewardship, that power without principle is chaos, but that principle with provision, that's transformation. That's when things shift. That's when you go from praying for change to funding it, from talking about impact to being the one writing the check that creates it. But let me be clear, this is not about chasing riches for validation. That's a trap, because if you're looking for wealth to complete you, you're already empty. Wealth must be rooted in identity, not insecurity. You don't chase it because you want to look important. You pursue it because you understand the assignment. You understand that you've been called to be a distribution point, a vessel, a multiplier, and you can't multiply what you resent. There's a responsibility that comes with wealth, and if you're not prepared to carry that, don't ask for it. Because it will expose you. Money doesn't change character, it amplifies it. If you're generous when you have little, you'll be impactful when you have much. But if your heart is off, all the money in the world will just make you louder in the wrong direction. So yes, build the business, buy the property, scale the idea, not for ego, for legacy, for impact, for kingdom, because we're not called to blend in. We're called to be salt, to be light, and that requires visibility. It requires resources. It requires leadership in industries where compromise is currency. But when you understand wealth as a tool, not a trophy, everything changes. Too many people are praying for tables while refusing to learn how to build them. Stop waiting for someone to bless you with opportunity. Become the opportunity. Let your success be the answer to someone else's prayer. Let your platform point people not to you, but through you. Let your excellence speak before your bio does. There is nothing spiritual about scarcity. There is nothing righteous about playing small. The cross didn't save you so you could shrink. It saved you so you could shine, so you could lead, so you could prosper, not just in soul, but in life, in leadership, in legacy. And that includes wealth. So stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop justifying your hunger for impact. Own it, refine it, and then use it. Because when your hands are clean and your heart is right, wealth is not a distraction. It's a divine weapon, and in the right hands, it doesn't just change lives. It shifts history. Ask ChatGPT, you said. Kingdom impact through influence expend in 700 words without heading in Vusi Thembekwayo tone and style, but don't mention, ChatGPT said, influence is currency. It's the most valuable asset in a world that no longer moves by truth alone, but by voices loud enough to shape perception. And in this era of noise, clout, and clickbait, the question isn't whether you have influence. The question is, what are you doing with it? We've confused platform with purpose. We've mistaken followers for fruit. But true influence, real, lasting, kingdom-driven influence isn't about how many people know your name. It's about how many lives are better because you walked into the room. And let's be honest, some people have reach, but no weight, volume, but no value. Because influence without impact is just ego on display. It looks good, but it changes nothing. You were not created to be a trend, you were built to be a force, a voice that doesn't just echo what's popular, but declares what's eternal, and that kind of voice doesn't come by accident. It comes by intention. It comes when you understand that your presence in boardrooms, on platforms, in politics, in business, in culture. It's not coincidence. It's placement. It's strategy. And when God places you, He expects return on that investment. Stop separating the spiritual from the societal. Stop thinking kingdom work only happens inside church walls. The greatest pulpits today aren't always behind stained glass. They're behind microphones, in front of cameras, at leadership tables, in policy meetings, on trading floors. And if your influence is only visible on Sundays, you're underusing your assignment. Kingdom impact isn't limited to scripture quotes. It's how you lead your team, how you treat your clients, how you make decisions when no one's watching. See, people are watching even when they don't say a word. They're watching how you handle pressure, how you manage success, how you carry yourself when you fail, and that's where influence speaks the loudest. In the moments of tension, not just in the moments of triumph. Your response becomes a reference. Your silence becomes a statement. Your integrity becomes a blueprint. We need a generation of leaders who don't just build brands, but build people. Who don't just sell products, but solve problems. Who aren't chasing attention, but stewarding responsibility, because influence is heavy. It demands consistency. It demands clarity. It demands character. And if you're not ready to carry that weight, don't pray for more spotlight. Because the higher you go, the more exposed your foundation becomes. This is not about being perfect. It's about being principled. Influence doesn't require flawlessness. It requires faithfulness. You lead not because you've mastered everything, but because you're committed to growth, to service, to alignment. And the most dangerous leader is the one who no longer seeks applause, but chases purpose. That's when transformation begins. That's when culture shifts. That's when influence becomes impact. So let's redefine success. It's not just numbers, it's fruit. It's legacy. It's what remains when the hype dies down. Because trends fade, fame fades, algorithms change, but truth, that echoes, long after your name is forgotten, your impact should still be speaking. That's the goal. You were not given influence just to build a life. You were given influence to build a kingdom, to challenge systems, to lift others, to interrupt cycles of mediocrity, to bring excellence into spaces where compromise is the norm. You don't do it by preaching. You do it by being the sermon. Your life becomes the message. Your discipline becomes the doctrine. And hear me clearly, this isn't a call to be famous. It's a call to be faithful. Faithful with your platform, your voice, your gifts, your time. Influence is not measured in likes, it's measured in lives. It's not who notices you, it's who is changed by you. That's the difference, that's the weight, that's the responsibility. So here's the challenge. Use your voice, not to echo what the world already says, but to speak what it needs to hear. Use your presence to heal divisions, not deepen them. Use your decisions to set a higher standard, not lower it. Use your success to open doors, not just to close deals. Kingdom influence isn't soft. It's disruptive. It doesn't conform, it transforms. It doesn't entertain, it awakens. And when you understand that, you stop chasing spotlight and start living on assignment. Because real impact doesn't seek credit. It seeks change. And when influence becomes submission to purpose, the result is a kingdom that advances. One decision, one conversation, one life at a time.